Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 premium SPG that most people know as a leFH or a leaf blower, and what Arty Noobs players know as Fifi La Pew Pew. And this one is located on the east spawn of Airfield under the command of Running Hawk. Game started. Now it's a 105mm light field howitzer, which has got a phenomenal fire rate, 7.51 seconds between shots, and that is putting out a 105mm round which is capable of doing 410 alpha, penetrating 53mm of armour. So at lower tiers it's actually going to be quite deadly, and in this game it's top tier, so he's in a tier 5 game, tier 5 Arty, which means those enemy tanks are going to take a pounding. But it is a reduced numbers game. I'm afraid there are only 3 real players on each side. 6 real players in total. The rest are bots. Yes, I'm afraid it's another bot game. There are 7 bots on each side as well, so 10 players in total. And he's aiming down the Temple Mount in the centre, looking for an enemy vehicle. Now, there has been a lot of games with bots late at night, and well, it can be quite interesting because sometimes the bots actually perform better than real people, or at least I think Klaus Kellerman would probably agree with that, because he yet gets some absolutely terrible games sometimes from some of his teammates. And look at that, there's an enemy tank on its side, and that's a real person. That is a real person. He's dialing in. He's going to make absolutely certain. Now mark the spot as well. Oh, he killed him with 1 round. It went straight into him and took him out. And it was a blind kill as well. He fires another one in. Oh, unbelievable. He must have gone around the corner too quickly. And as a result, he actually flipped over and made himself a willing target for Running Hawk's gun. And the problem Running Hawk's got here is he's too close to the buildings, so he's only got a partial reticule, but he's landing shots on that Matilda 4. He got a near miss there. Rounds out and direct hit, 88 hit points. Now that is a real player. That's why he's moving the way he is. He's trying to get the hell out of there, and he fires another one in, gets another direct hit. I don't think that Matilda 4 is going to be their next shot though. He fires another one in just in case, but no. Now you saw for a moment he had a red line when he was trying to aim at that Matilda 4. And the reason is the buildings that he's very close to are actually restricting his ability to raise his gun or to depress his gun enough to actually hit the target, because that target is actually quite close to him. So if it's a target that's a long way away, the gun would raise to actually increase the range of the gun. But if the target's fairly close, the gun has to depress. And if the buildings are in the way, providing cover, yeah, they kind of block the shell as well. Well, unfortunately that Matilda 4 has just taken out our M10 RBFM. And that was a real player as well, it just went down. So looking at the scoreboard at the moment, it appears that I'm actually showing here that Stuart was not a real player. That was actually a bot. But the enemy still has 3 real players. And unfortunately, Running Hawk's team only has 1 himself. Everyone else has been wiped out. It's difficult to get shots through those columns at the enemy. But this is looking to be a very difficult game because he's 3 tanks down on the enemy at the moment. So he's going to have to work hard to claw this one back. Oh, and that Matilda 4 is getting really close now, and he can't loop the shell over simply because those buildings are in the way as well as the rocks nearby. So he's going to have to move and get into an ambush position, because I think that Matilda 4 is coming up to the cap area. And so he's going to try and get below the ridgeline. Or is he going to... Oh, he's going to turn and face him as he is right now. He's turning as fast as he can. And unfortunately that building is in the way, so he might have to move again. There's an A20 over there, but he can't go for that. Oh, and the A20 is taken out by one of our bots. Now, he's waiting for that Matilda to arrive. I'd be tempted to back up right now to get below the ridgeline behind him, and that means when the Matilda pops up only the top of the turret would actually be showing. Now the Fifi, oh, there's an AMX-40. No, he wants to take that one out. That's a bot, but it is a very difficult to kill tank. And if he uses the gun and gets a lovely shot on him, go for it again. And the Matilda's coming round behind him. And he's just been hit by the Matilda, but he was only hitting the tracks. Because the Fifi is a heavy tank in disguise. Yep, it's a heavy tank with an Arty gun on top. That Matilda just felt the wrath of a 105mm gun, but he's got 2 shots in. This is to kill. Yes! Okay, so he took the player out, but there is an enemy player on the enemy team, a live player who's Arty. And thankfully, that guy was not good enough to actually aim at Running Hawk in time to get him. So small mercies. That M41 driver was probably busy shooting at somebody else at the time. He doesn't have any kills. His name's Gaetano. I haven't seen that name before. Yeah, so he's lost a lot of hit points. He's down to only 50 now out of 260. And that's the reason why the enemy Arty didn't fire. He was on the move. He was on the move. And he's lost half his hit points as well. Oh, Running Hawk takes him out with 1 round. Beautiful shot. Right on the money. Just shows the effectiveness of this little Arty. It really is so good. And if you were lucky to get one of these in the gift boxes, I think they had them last year, not this year. If you were lucky enough to get one of these, then you really did get a gem, because these Arty are so much fun. And I think even the most ardent anti-haters, Arty haters, have one of these Artys because they love playing it. They think it's good fun as well, even though they hate Arty, which is surprising. I've seen Arty haters who've got very good stats in this Arty. Of course, because they like playing it. It's good. Okay, he's dialing in on the M8A1, fires around in, gets a big hit. Open cockpit, and the guy goes down to one of the bots. The Debruxwagen Zwei takes him out. Oh, we've got another Debruxwagen Zwei. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he's hiding behind that wall. One shot right into the face. I think he hit the gun actually. You can see the yellow mark on the turret. And another one hits him. Got a SAL M42 now. Going for the DW2 first though. And the kill shot. As Klaus would say, that's the money shot. Another one into the SAL. If you don't know what I mean about the money shot, Klaus Kellerman actually, in one of his videos earlier today, he put out a statement saying he was just about to take a shot which would actually win him a mission, and not win him the game, but certainly win and effectively complete his mission. And unfortunately, he got killed. He said he was just about to fire. Here's the money shot. And I actually said, yes, it's not the sort of climax you were expecting. And I think most of you know what I mean. Come on, you do. You know what I mean. Well, he's actually abandoning the cap, and with good reason, because we don't know if that Stug 3G and the AMX-40 have the actual knowledge to actually go to the cap and start capping, because apparently these bots, they don't appear to work in the same way as human minds do. Mind you, the fact that some of them are actually better than human players does tend to make you think, what are those humans like? Oh, now this is interesting. We've got a B1, which is of course the tank that the leFH was actually made from. Yep, Fifis were made from B1s, Char B1s. Now, how close is he? Too close, actually, for us to get a shot at. He's not on the coast, he's actually on the edge. And I have the sneaking feeling that Running Hawk wants a top gun, and the easiest way for him to do that would be to shoot up at this guy without this guy being able to see him. Yes, he's doing it. He's actually going to do it. Needs to back up a bit. He's changed his mind. He could have done it. If he backed up a bit more, it would have exposed him to fire, but he could have taken that guy out. Okay, now the enemy has been spotted. He's not capping, but he is near the cap. Dialing in. Close, close. He wants that top gun. He desperately wants that top gun. He's got enough rounds to do it. He's firing in a blind shot. No joy. Now, will he get spotted by the B1 as he goes across? Well, he's taking a liberty here, actually stopping to shoot at the AMX-40, but he is very low on health. And even at long range, he should be able to take this guy out. Rounds out, bit late, bit late. I need to lead the target just enough. Oh, the target stopped. Well, he's decided to move because the B1 is behind him, but just didn't come out to shoot at him. Okay, so he's going to go to the cap. And it looks like the Matilda and the DW2 are headed towards the Char B1. Now the good thing about this Arty is it does have long enough range that from the enemy cap he could probably hit the enemy tanks if they aren't capping. There's the B1. I think he's just too close for him to shoot at, but if the B1 tries to come and reset, he should be able to do some damage to him. Yep, our tanks are going after him. He's picked a spot where he can shoot at that B1. He's aiming. It's got red line, which means he's too close to the buildings. He needs to pull back a bit. Now, there's no enemy Arty, so he doesn't have to worry about being spotted or doing any destruction to property. But what he can do is back up enough so he can get a shot. The B1 is responding to our teammates. He's going after the Matilda and the DW2, but he's not going after Running Hawk. He obviously doesn't know how to get the reset. Okay, we've got no shot. He's too close. You see the red line? Can't shoot because there's some obstruction in the way. It's the rocks. The B1 is taking damage though. Well, that's the 2-minute warning, and he's well into the cap now. If the B1 continues around the corner, he might be able to get the kill. Oh, no, the kill actually goes to the Matilda. 15 seconds, 14. It's getting rather close. He might actually end up with a medal, an Invader, but it'd be nice if he could actually get a top gun as well. If only one of the enemy tanks would come into sight, but doesn't look as if it's going to happen. And he's won. He's capped out. So that's the second game we've seen from Running Hawk where he's capped out in the cap and with loads of bots, and they never came to reset. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats from this game. And it's another ace tanker for Running Hawk in the 105 leFH18B2, and that's pretty amazing considering this is a tier 5 game. It's very difficult to get an ace on a tier 5 game. Normally you'd only get them on a tier 6 or tier 7, but he managed to get the ace on the tier 5 in this one. He got a fighter badge for taking out at least 4 kills. He got 5. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 10. He got a Starks medal because, yes, he took at least 2 shots from the enemy, lost 2/3 of his hit points. In fact, he lost a bit more than 2/3 of his hit points and still survived the battle. And he got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and an Invader medal for capping out and getting at least 80 capture points in the process. His win rate from the game, 6,150, which showed his CPU Unicum standard, even though there was only 3 players on either side. At the end of the game, I don't believe there was any enemy tanks left alive with live players, or was there? Oh dear, there was. The Stug 3G player was a live player, but he didn't bother to come back and reset the cap, which is surprising. You would have thought that he would have actually tried to do that, but nope, he didn't. So let's have a look at detail. 23 shots fired, 14 direct hits, 2 penetrations on the enemy. I think the Stuart at the start was probably one of the pens. Let's have a look. Yes, he did pen it for all of its hit points with 1 shot, 340. I suspect he penned that one as well. Yes, he did. The M41 took the pen, 93 hit points. That's why he got him with 1 shot. He did 13 splash as well. 1,901 hit points of damage, of which 1,620 were at more than 300 meters. He received 4 hits from the enemy. That was from the Matilda 4. And 2 penetrations, 2 non-penetrations. Yeah, those shots hit the tracks. And he was lucky because it is a heavy tank. And therefore, if you do hit the tracks by mistake, yes, the shell's not going to go through. It's not going to go into the vehicle. And so, yes, he only had 2 penetrations in the game. But, yes, they did strip away most of his hit points. Damage blocked by armor was 220. So, yes, if those shots had actually gone into the vehicle, he would have been out of the game very easily. 7 enemy vehicles hit and 5 killed, 100 cap points during the game. On a premium count, he earned 47,304 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 43,520 credits. He got 5 bombs for that battle, for getting the Invader and also getting the High Caliber and the Stark's Medal. He also picked up 1,443 XP times 2 for the first victory, 722 for completing a mission, 577 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 4,185 altogether. So pretty good game to get an ace tanker in, but it just goes again and shows that Wargaming have not made the bots sufficiently intelligent enough to defeat a player who is, or a single human player who actually is capable of capping. That's the second game we've had from Running Hawk where he's actually been on Airfield and capped out to win. The last one was in the Bishop, this one in the Fifi. So yes, if you happen to be in a bot game, it seems that the answer is to cap, and that way you win because the enemy will never come back to reset you. At least make sure that the enemy can't see you whilst you're capping, because if they do see you, they probably will try to kill you, but if they can't see you, they can't kill you. So, if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.